Now you know this thing we talk about unifying in like Uganda music, like the language thing.
Yes.
It has brought me to like something else, like how like tribalism in this country.
Yeah, okay.
So I want us to talk about a bit about tribalism, like,
and in what line, how it has affected people.
Like what are people's experiences? Because I feel like, man, the way you think about tribalism, it is like one dimension. Like man, I could not get a job, but there are so many other things that like
that are beyond just what you see. And I think we'll try and look at them as stereotypes that actually lead up, that are tribalistic in their own way. You get that lead to tribalism. And one of them is, man, when you see someone who is dark, like you see a dark guy, me, you're looking at me, you see me wearing probably a neon shirt, the first thing that comes to your head is that guy is a Sudanese. You get, there's always that thing that is imprinted in our head that, you know, not that I am Sudanese or what, or they will just say that guy must be an Acholi, or he's, you know, which is not actually the thing, it's different. Some guy could be dark because he doesn't bathe. I'm not saying every dark man doesn't bathe, because I have put a lot of
yeah, well, we're not trying to reduce like the topic of tribalism, but we also want to look at people's experiences, because people have to live these stereotypes.
Yeah, true.
So why is tribe unidentified in this country? We only feel that the only way to identify ourselves is tribe, and like this is why the white people did a number on us. They don't identify themselves like that.
Yeah, they don't.
They're like, me, I'm a Manu supporter. That is their tribe.
Their tribe. That it's not
exactly
an identified. But here, someone asks you like, man, hey, you have very nice English. What is your other language? Like our mother tongues are now referred to as other language.
The second
language, and that is what someone actually uses to judge you or to know that this is what I expect from someone. When probably you're going to date, like there are certain things we have in our heads. So you're going to date someone. Now, me, where I come from, my parents, not even parents, like people that say medically, do not bring someone from the West. This is not to make you people go. I will, of course, differ.
But you welcome them.
Yeah, I will welcome you people.
You have a big eye.
But what I'm saying is, they limit, they tell you, man, if you bring someone from the West, they will take you away from us. Those people are spies. I remember sometime having a conversation. I think I'd come from Kampala. I got on a border from the park. So I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, hey, what's your name? I have that conversation with him. And he tells me his name is, he's like it's from the West. And I'm like, what tribe are you? He's a Muchika. I told him, how come you're working this side? I expect you to probably be like at ministry. He's like, my guy, not everyone. He's like, and he literally laid out a story for me of how every place, once the landlady or the landlord finds out he is from the West, they just come and
this is because he's living in Soroti.
Because he's living in Soroti, and there's that imprint in them that Westerners who are this side are spies. It could be true or not, but man, there are some people living within that lab or that gap where they are actually not.
And you see that is important because in our country, sometimes Westerners or like Banyankole get this bad rep, and they are somehow benefiting from the government or something.
Yes.
And that is also something I want to address. Like we have to be honest with ourselves. Westerners, I feel like for them to like thrive as a society, they've had a natural advantage. Yes. Because they're the only tribe that was sort of commercializing their activities way before us. If you read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, you've read that?
Yeah, I've read that book.
Malcolm Gladwell talks about the Jews and how the Jews were sort of prepped to be the ones to dominate America, because where they came from, they were not allowed to own land.
Yes.
So they had to do these small jobs in towns. So when the Jews came to America, they settled in the towns, they did these small jobs, and they were able to just build continuous. And that's yes. And the way I relate it to Banyankole is this. Banyankole are the only people in this country who own cattle that are not Karamajo or Itesots. But now the difference is that
cows, my G, but
the difference is that the Banyankole live closer to town. When you have all these cows seated, it's easy to sell one, buy land, pay for like school
fees or
exactly
things,
or start a business. Now for the rest of us who may not have like these things you can sort of commercialize, these sort of resources, it is hard.
It is hard.
So even that alone gives them like an advantage. And I feel like when we look at them, we should give them that sort of
context. I know. And like how they look at Batoro, like, man, these guys are very calm, they're lazy, what? When I was in Barrett, this stage I went to get a photo guy, and everyone tells me like, hey, that guy, it's past this time. I'm like, hey, what do you guys mean? Is this guy a vampire that at a certain period of time he has to go? And they're like, no, he's epileptic. What? He's epileptic. Why is he riding a bicycle?
That's why this guy was epileptic.
Yes, but you know he's a Mutoran, very calm. And he's like, I'm Mutoran. So me, I thought they're saying it because they're trying to say Watoro are lazy, they don't work beyond a certain period of time. But my G, this was a risk. I was walking in line of danger. They just told me he's epileptic. At a certain period of time, he has to go back home. So my question is, man, first minus the tribal bit.
What is an epileptic? But we are all for like rights of people who are. I think the word is differently able.
Yeah, differently able.
But man,
true. Why, man? It's like, you remember what we had the other day from a friend about him getting on the border. The guy is wearing Ray-Bans and what. And it's at night, and they're calling him Night Rider. You get
Kumbe, the guy has one eye.
The guy has one eye. And
imagine sitting on a border
at night.
At night, and the rider has one eye.
One eye.
That just blows.
Now, there we are not trying to say we are not helping white people who are differently able. Like me, I'm left-handed. If your door is positioned for right, I will not complain. I will just make sure that in certain public places I get my rights as a left-handed person. You know?
Anyway, when we're going back to the issue of tribalism, this thing will be a story of the epileptic man took us very far.
Anyway, yeah, it took us.
Going back to the issue of tribalism, I feel like, one, for me, as a Luo man, there are certain sort of struggles we have. Yeah. There's struggles we all have because of tribes, yes. As tribes. One, for me, I'm a Luo. People are, when low people meet me, they're like, you people are moving on brooms. I feel like, man, I left mine at home. I left mine at home.
Moving on brooms, what does it even mean?
We are wizards or some shit.
That's why you came with a broom.
Man, this jokes. Anyway, so, and you see what is funny, I've also grown up in a family with Banyankole. And Banyankole also gave this rep from the East.
What?
But you see what really pisses me off? Wait. What really pisses me off is that even with my Lul and Banyankole connection, I've never been able to fly on a broom.
To fly on a broom.
Like, what is the point of people always telling me these stories if they do not work?
I want to tell you a Munyole story.
Yeah. You see?
No, I'm not trying to point. I'm just telling you that is how it was. So, I studied in Kira College, rep to all of them. All of them. So we're at school and someone's phone gets lost. And the guy just comes in between them, calls everyone in the dorm. My grandfather is a Munyole. My G, after that meeting, the guy saw his phone because there was belief that, man, you wake up with no manners. Oh no, nobody bad.
Why did your mind go there?
No, because those were the threats laid in the guy's thing. You think I have personal interest in that area? No, I'm just telling you that the phone appeared because it was a Munyole man. If it was a Mutoro guy who had taken it, people would know this man is too lazy to even leave his bed to go to which.
What is it like dating intertribal?
Dating intertribal now
or
then? Right now, I already mentioned one thing in line with the fact that when you date, or if you have a girlfriend who is from the West and you're from my area,
they will
assemble you and assure you how she.
But then that rep is bigger for those guys.
Yeah, that rep is bigger.
They do not want. They even, you know, and also I feel like when we go there, there are all these names we call ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
What is it, Badokolo?
Badokolo, then Bakoki, you know, those particular Bachope that we use to represent.
Obula Baganda have named people in this country.
I remember.
Thank you for the good work done.
I remember when people misquoted Obote. When they say every Muganda is a good Muganda is a dead one. And yet, no, you're the one who had the real info about that.
You see, what happened was Obote was married to Miriam. Miriam is a Muganda. She has her brother. The brother is sick, and he's sick for a very long time. I think it was like terminally. I cannot speak on what sickness he had. So he eventually passes on. No, during the time he was sick, none of his relatives came to see him.
Or to support.
Yeah. So he eventually passes on, and then all these people come because you know Baganda are very sort of dramatic people, ceremonies. Yes, they're a bit superficial like that. Yes. So they came and there was all this wailing, all this what, and Obote was like, but well, all these people, when the man was
When
sick,
the man was
it seems a good Muganda is
He's
a
a
dead
dead
one.
one, like-
Because he's the only person who has value.
True, because he's the only one other people look at.
But that also points to like our society. We are like superficial like that. We want to, when someone dies, well, I'm going to take care of their children.
their children,
But it's,
things come up, you even be like, why didn't I die
But-
earlier on? Because now sponsors are coming. I'm ready.
man,
to
but
sponsor
that
you.
joke is not funny.
It's not. I'm just.
But it is. You know why it's funny?
Yeah.
For me, when I was growing up, where I grew up was Tororo. In Tororo, people, like the culture of Tororo is a lot of artisot, I mean itesot, and no, okay, not really, but it's more of itesot and japadola. Now japadola have this thing where someone passes on, it's a celebration.
Do they eat rats or no?
We're going to get to that.
Yes.
It's a celebration. So when you die, they do not mourn like the other people here mourn.
Yeah,
There is disco.
disco.
When my mom passed when I was 8, I could not wait for that disco.
What? You were discovering at 8, you man.
No, like it was just like a party. Like these guys actually have a party,
But yeah, it's
a proper send off.
Yeah.
So imagine my shock when the first time I saw a Buganda funeral. I was like,
What is going
like
on?
these guys are being pretentious.
Yes, I know, man.
like I feel like, but anyway, that is just
That is
because of cultural
differences.
Now that thing about the rats.
About no, minus even the rats. I don't have a lot to talk about rodents. So, but what I want to talk about is, but this. There's that stereotype that we have been getting. I think even from primary they tell you, boy, but these two guys love sex. They are good in bed, or you know, there's just that particular. But then when you look at the location, man, that place is cold. It's inevitable that a man shall want. A man shall want, you know.
Yes,
and when
the most highly densely populated areas in this country are always around the mountains.
around the mountains, yeah, because there is the other economic activities, sex, there is too much of it, and man, they have pride in that.
But for me, what I really want to see is like for us to like accept the contributions we are all making
To this country.
Because like for me, like as a low man, I was saying that I feel like we get this rep that we're not doing, like I don't know. Like, there's other people who look at low people, and for me, I'm just like, for me, that is one of the struggles I've picked in my life.
True.
That I will not endure any BS from anyone because I'm low.
True.
There's other people who look at low people. And for me, I feel like one, we have done a lot for this country.
Yeah, and
intellectually, in the sense of like literature and poetry and all these things.
The likes of Lawinos for us now.
Yeah, and then also politically, like we're there when this country, when we understood, one, when the British came, we understood it was complete nonsense. The Langi Rebellion. We're there when this country was getting independence with Obote and all these guys, Okota and what. And then when Museveni brought his, there was also some Lakwena and Konyi. So like, I feel like for us, we have always felt we care about this country deeply, but people don't really return the favor. And I'm not here to ask for any sympathy, but I want us to acknowledge that other tribes are also doing other things like Banyoro. You know that the Banyoro, before the British came, these guys were having C-section births.
Yeah, man, I saw that. The guys were very, very advanced already.
We were very advanced as a country. Baganda had built a lake. Like, there's a lot we can take pride in, apart from this thing of where the British say that you guys are a different tribe, so you have to hate each other
for that thing, because to support their divide and all that.
Yes.
But yes, if you have any other views, you know, we will all just come to one thing. We can support ourselves. We know that the Bagis will bring in rampant or very necessary sex. And then, no, I'm just saying, is that the contribution you're talking about?
No, that was not the contribution.
What contribution are you talking about?
One circumcision cooperative.
Even circumcision is a culture. Like, we have our cultures
yes.
that actually contribute to us to unite. We identify ourselves by things. We do not have to use them to diss each other. That, you uncircumcised, no peaceful. Circumcised or not, a man shall erect at a certain point.
Exactly. We don't want to be like these people only have cows and beautiful women. Because they do more than have cows and we don't know which people we're talking about, but we're talking about those people. So, like every tribe, every society is contributing to the country, and people should really acknowledge this. There's no the select few what. Because we're also not. Have you ever been in Lanita Sotu?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Man, it is you, man. Why are you putting me on spot? What you asking?
You confess, you guys.
It was like a being with a woman. I can never say.
Why do you think? Why do you think? Someone was telling me that.
Because I actually realized the person was Anita. So midway when we were about to break up, because
yeah, don't midway the act.
No, you stupid. By the way. No, I'm saying when now she's up, she got pissed and started abusing in my local. I'm like, we actually partake of that juice.
There's something about a woman abusing you in your mother tongue.
In your mother. Yeah. I think the only time you can know a woman's real accent and voice, one is in bed, man. She can even if she has been speaking, hey, what there, Baba. And then two, when she's abusing you, when a woman is abusing you, really hear that
you see
with the she means it. I accept what she said.
You see, you know, Banyankole get this rap of being arrogant men.
True. I think.
But now and then, women always say, man, low men are very caring. Just because low men are just like more sort of. They're more laid back. They don't over push to impose what exactly. You live another.
So
what I'm saying to Banyankole women, forget these arrogant men. Come on. I thought we were together, you guys.
Oh my G, we're not starting a revolution. Don't want these people to have also their things anyway. That is that for now.
That is that for now.